yeah, I suppose I'm quite happy with that. Natural order well and truly restored. The past couple of games, Rangers have totally dominated, but this time it well and truly paid off. It's just starting off with the goals. The first goal, of course, was scored by Ryan Kent. Lovely cross coming off that wonder left peg of Borna Barisic. Ryan Kent hits with the same foot, goes off the post and in the goal. Like, really hard shot to control. Manages to do it. Fantastic goal. Celtic's goal, illegitimate again. 2 illegitimate goals in 2 games. The only goals they can score against us now, it seems. Basically just comes off of Edwards' hands, so that deflects it. Mcgregor's already sent, sort of going left, and he can't dive right, goes in the goal. The second goal for Rangers, leaping header from Nikola Katic. He literally is our only threat when it comes to corners. If we don't have him on the pitch and we've got a corner, I don't want to hear about it. But also, Borna Barisic's crossing is just unbelievable. So that's 2 assists for him today, a goal from a Croatian and 2 assists from a Croatian. Well and truly made in Croatia were Rangers today. But that, like, Barisic and Katic, when they're both on the pitch, they just know each other when it comes to crossing corners. I don't know what Katic has done wrong not to start over Helander, but I would totally play him over Helander. I think he offers way more. He's more composed. He's got, you know, that nod for pace. I think as well, Joe Aribo today, what a game he had. Sorry, let's talk about that. Started off a little bit shaky. I think he didn't quite realise the physicality of the game that he was in when particularly Scott Brown was sort of going into the back of him and winning the ball. Aribo sort of looked a bit shocked. It wasn't a foul, but it was just physical. And then he started to wise up to it. He started to use his body. And that touch, I can't remember who did the long ball, right down in the comments. I can't remember who did the long ball, but pings it over. It's one of the hardest balls to control because it's sort of going over your head. He touched it, I think, with his left foot. Oh my God, it was sensational. Like, the control was just unreal. Aribo today offered us so much energy right till the last, and it was great to see because Aribo's kind of like Ajaria. He's been under, you know, a bit of questioning from Rangers fans, which, you know, fair enough. And I think he really answered that today. Alfredo Morelos, I don't know what it is. He turns from superhuman to just a normal footballer against Celtic. His work rate's there, yeah, sure, but his shots aren't the same. Even when he got his red card, he could have had a shot with his right foot, but instead he decides to dive or look for a penalty. Yeah, I mean, what is he doing? And also, what you know, a member of our staff whose name completely escapes me now is getting a red card there as well. Come on, like we pretty much won the game there, and then there's literally no need for that. I'm sure Gerard will be having words about that. Oh, if you are new here, you enjoyed the game, make sure you leave a like and above all subscribe. We're trying to get to, I don't know, what, 7,900 now? Oh God, this is the best feeling because that 96 minutes it turned out to be was horrific. It was horrific because the moment we scored the goal, yeah, great, because we dominated before them, and then they get their illegitimate goal back, and I thought, oh, for God's sake, here we go, it's going to be the same again. I just had that feeling. I've got to admit, I had that feeling. But at no point in time did our heads go down for longer than a few minutes. I think we got our morale back up and we thoroughly improved again. Whereas Celtic, a lot of the time, their heads were down. I think their defenders didn't really want us running at them past maybe from about 45 minutes onwards. But I was really impressed with Ryan Christie. Mikey Johnson showed that he's got a lot of guts. It takes a lot of guts to be that young and take, you know, try and do a couple of flick shots and take some of the shots that he did. So that was impressive. Christopher Ajer, his passing is spectacular. But Celtic couldn't quite capitalise. And when Lee Griffiths came on the pitch, that was when my feeling got even worse because I thought if anyone's going to score against us, it's going to be him. It's going to be him, and he is pure scum. He's just scum, isn't he? You don't want to see him scoring against you. I think there was quite a lot of frustration when there was additional time, which led to Morelos' red card. But would it be an old firm if there's not a red card? Morelos, before he got given his first yellow, I saw about 3 or 4 challenges. So I thought the ref was being all right. I think it was Kevin Clancy, wasn't it? He was being all right to Morelos, but on the whole, I don't think the ref had a good game at all. I'm not going to talk about that too much because in Scottish football you can really say that every game, which begs the question, if the officials aren't good, why don't we have VAR? At least help them out that way. But even so, I think there's a huge gap in pay difference from sort of English refereeing to Scottish, and that's something that a lot of my friends give me in my ear. You know, Scottish football's this, that, and the other. I say, look, if you want to have a word about Scottish football, don't talk about the standard, don't talk about the physicality, because we'll trump your physicality. Let's talk about the officiating. You know, everyone's got it so good down south, down here, and we just don't in Scotland. We don't in Scotland. Barisic for me, Barisic, Aribo, and Kent, absolute star players. I think Kamara played his game really, really well today. He knew his role. A couple of mistakes were made by Ryan Jack today. Not thoroughly impressed at all, but look, he's earned that. He's totally earned that. He's been by far our best midfielder. And that says something, because Stephen Davis is a hell of a player too. Davis and me played really well today. A couple of times he was on the post, headed the ball away. Really, really, really crucial thing to do that. And at the end, he sort of heads the ball, like sort of in the 92nd minute maybe, heads the ball sort of away when the goal's behind him, and it so could have gone in the back of the net. Luckily it didn't. I think Julien deserves a bit of credit for the first 20 minutes. His defending was pretty spot on, to be honest. He read the game, he cut passing lines, he made challenges where necessary. I think there was a point in time when Morelos sort of dragged the ball back, could have passed across to Aribo, but Julien read the passing line so well. He just got there and stopped that, what could have been a goal, from happening. I don't actually think Celtic deserve a lot of credit today. They don't deserve, and neither does my camera, but I don't think they deserve a lot of credit at all. I don't think there's much that I can talk about them and say they did particularly well. I think one of the huge contrasts for me is when you're looking at Steven Gerrard on your bench. Like, he's just class, isn't he? He's class epitomised, personified. And then they've got Neil Lennon, who every time the camera's on him, he's either making this little face or he's spitting or something like that. And that's the difference right now between Rangers and Celtic in terms of management. It's just I know who I'd rather have in charge of us. This win's been a long time coming, and not holding back about it at all, particularly because the amount of stick that you get from Celtic fans when you're doing this kind of thing, sitting in front of the camera, which, yeah, sure, granted, you put yourself up to, but hey. So on the whole, I give that performance, I think defensively we did really well. I give the defence probably an 8, midfield an 8, and the attack probably about, an 8 as well. I think we did well across the park. Goldson, once again, showing how good his long balls are. Crucial, absolutely crucial to his game. James Tav, I think it shows you how fast some of the Celtic players are, because Tav's got a lot of pace in him, and stamina particularly. But when some of the Celtic players are sort of racing past Tav, you're thinking, right, okay, yeah, they really are fast then. James Forrest, that's a surprise that he didn't turn up against us. In fact, that's a real surprise. Normally I put him down as one of Celtic's best players, but I don't watch Celtic games outside of the Old Firm, so I don't really know much about them, if I'm being particularly honest. Scott Brown, as expected, he got involved, didn't have his best game, didn't have his worst game, was noticeable, and I think, he was causing a bit of problems when it comes to breaking down play. Ryan Jack, for Celtic's only goal, all you can ask of a player is that he goes in and he makes a tackle. He did that, but the way that he made the tackle was pretty abstract, and it led to Celtic's goal. Don't particularly think that you can blame him for that, but even so, I put a question mark on it. But we came back, we scored, we've won 2-1. Finally, the night is ours. I mean, the reason why I had a bad feeling earlier on in the game is just because, like, they scored another goal that was wrong. Just like the last game, they went on to win that game. I was thinking, look, it's just, we're going to outplay them again, and it's not going to happen. And I think this game should give me a large amount of confidence when it comes to just confidence for the Old Firm, because I'm sick and tired of watching us dominate games and not do anything with it. So it's fantastic to see that today. Alan McGregor's penalty save, they discredited that. I think Chris Commons said that it was in a bad area. You either go in the middle or you go top right. But if you look at a lot of, say, Cristiano Ronaldo's penalties, he goes bottom corner. You know, he likes to drill it into the bottom of the corner. So I don't really know where he's coming from there exactly. But I think Chris Commons should have, not taken anything away at all from Alan McGregor's save. Spectacular save. I do think as he gets older, McGregor, his distribution gets a lot worse. But it's not to his detriment as a keeper. It's just something that I'm noticing more and more. Sometimes the ball just bounces and goes out. Sometimes it doesn't meet his player. Look, sometimes it does. I just think he could be a lot better there, or maybe he just doesn't have it in him anymore. But look, on the whole, have I missed anything that important? Probably. Yeah, Scotty Arfield came on. It's good to see Arfield come on. Got involved a little bit. Probably wasn't in the position where he wanted to play, but I'm sure he was happy to get a game. Steven Gerrard, that fist pump and celebration after the game was brilliant. I'll tell you what, it was also good to see for the Celtic fans. Their players still went round and clapped them. But it was good to see they weren't doing that stupid little dance that they do. Oh, what a day. What a day. If you enjoyed the video, then make sure you comment above all, subscribe, like, get it done. And yeah, I'll see you next time. It's just fantastic to end a video this way. Yeah, let's do this more often.